Welcome to the Horse Talk Show
You never heard of a talking horse?
with your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider. I should like to race.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Yeah, baby.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Louisa Barton here in the studio in the horse capital of the world, host and executive producer of the show with my co-host and dear friend, Maria Lacasse, here from Midnight Rose Equestrian. Lovely to have you back.
Oh, it's nice to be back.
I know if you're listening on the radio, you can't see how amazing her hair is. But anyway, I'm just saying. First of all, I want to start off by saying deepest sympathies and condolences to the family of Queen Elizabeth II and to all the Brits who are in mourning at the loss of the longest reigning monarch, Queen of England. Reigned for 70 years. Unbelievable woman. She was an equestrian, a very, very woman of great faith, a believer, and really an amazing woman, incredible woman who I think up until just a year or so ago was still on horseback, riding across the English countryside. So may she be riding across the clouds in heaven. May she rest in peace, and she'll be greatly missed. She was a wonderful leader.
Well, she did amazing things for some of the breeds too that were, dying out.
She did. She was quite an incredible woman. So, secondly, I want to talk a little bit about a trip this weekend that I went on, and thank you to my co-host for taking care of my four-leggeds so that I was able to be at Potter's Ranch Wilderness Retreat, and just an absolutely amazing place to go. Incredible retreat. A lot of churches and summer camps and groups go out to this ranch in Kentucky, and it's just an experience I can't describe. Driving out there to the ranch was therapeutic by itself. Just the views and the scenery surrounding the ranch was just amazing, and the weather, thank you God, was just beautiful. And we just had one kind of rainy day, which was kind of a sad day anyway, as it was 9/11. And it just felt suitable to be a little bit cloudier and a little bit the weather not quite as beautiful. But this amazing 630-acre retreat it's some of the most beautiful hillsides. Those are actually covered wagons, and you can actually stay in those covered wagons, and they're air conditioned, and they are just amazing. I believe it's a minimum of 6 people for those 2 covered wagons, but what a lovely idea to do that. And that's the inside of the covered wagon. Isn't that amazing? And that's air conditioned. I mean, it's just it's a brilliant idea, and it really
amazing, especially the setting. Like, it looks like God's country out there.
Yes, it is. Amen. Absolutely, it is indeed. And just a lovely place to get away, and you can hike, and you can horse ride, and you can do zip lining and rope climbing, and they have kayaking. Those are teepees you can also stay in. They have very large facilities as well where they can house like boys and girls separately in these large, very large kind of cabins where they can separate the boys and girls. So if you're a big church and you want to bring a lot of kids, you can camp out, and there's a bathhouse as well. They have campsite areas, and they have, this was when I went riding. I was so touched by the fact that that was on my saddle. I thought that was just the nicest little touch. That was on my saddle and one on my bridle. And I rode this amazing horse. Gosh, what a lovely guy, Ringo. Oh, a real sweetie. And look, I had my first gallop since before I broke my neck, and I nearly cried. And I told the young lady, Sydney, who took me out, that's actually the Ohio River behind us. That's how high up we were, that the view was just amazing. But I told the girl, Sydney, that I was riding with, that, I was just taking it easy because I hadn't done a whole lot, since I broke my neck. And so as we were coming out to the opening, she said to me, that's my groundhog. Oh my God. Yeah, it's my pet. So cute. She said to me, well, this is where I was going to kind of take you for a gallop, but since you said you wanted to take it easy, I said, let's go. And we went. There were deer everywhere. They were running across my front of my cabin, everywhere. Babies, and that was my cabin, the Frontier cabin. Oh, nice. Oh, it was lovely. And that view from the front of the Frontier cabin looked over the horse field, which was just amazing. I could see all the horses, and the view was just beautiful. The scenery. Just everything was just amazing. And Sydney was on her thoroughbred, and I was on Ringo. And the food, I mean, every meal prepared by Chef Ted, who, by the way, was brilliant and wonderful and took such good care of me and asked me, what can I make for you? And
I'm honestly surprised you came back.
Me too. I'll be honest with you. I was hard to tear myself away. It was amazing. So I just want to say thank you so much to Robert Leitner, his son Wes, and their wonderful team. What a blessing. They took such great care of me. I could not have had a nicer time. So thank you so much. And after that, other than a visit to Keeneland, of course, I went to Old Friends. Aww. And I love Old Friends. And Michael Blowen was so kind to me. They didn't have any tours that day, and he was off. And he said, come on back and visit. So I got to go to Medina Spirit's grave, God rest his soul, and was just so happy to be able to just go and see that and just honor him for a few minutes. What a great horse. Won the Kentucky Derby in 2021, and bred by Gail Rice, a dear friend of ours here in Ocala. And it was just a neat tribute to him. Actually, this week they're doing the ribbon cutting for the new statue of him that they've carved out front. And just a very special horse, a real champion, a true champion. And just lovely to visit Silver Charm, the Florida bred who almost won the Triple Crown. And I fed him some carrots and got a visit with him. He's 29 years old now. And Michael Blowen and his team there at Old Friends, a 501c3, have done such a great job taking care of these thoroughbred horses. And there he is, dear sweet boy. And actually met Christine Dorenzo and her husband just recently and at the barrel racing, and I didn't know that they trained Silver Charm. So that was actually
a small world.
It is a small world. It's like a double whammy. So that was just an amazing trip there. Some reminders of events. The Hobby Horse Equestrian Games is coming up October 22nd from 10 to 4 p.m. No charge for admission, thanks to our great sponsor, Everglades Equipment in Leesburg. And you can learn show jumping, dressage, horse racing, reining, roping, barrel racing, and polo, all from the safety of a stick horse. You can bring your own or make one when you get there. Free admission, horse demos, hay rides, a fantastic parade, food trucks, vendors, a vendor village. Going to be a wonderful event. Make sure you come and see us on October 22nd.
Excited.
I know, it's going to be a blast.
Somebody needs to get it on camera because I'm real clumsy.
Oh, yeah, me too. Believe me. Don't forget that Seminole Feed Stores wants to appreciate you as a customer. September 24th and 25th. On the Highway 40 location will be Saturday 8 to 4, Sunday 10 to 4. And then the Bellevue location will be Saturday only from 8 to 3. Lots of great deals and giveaways and specials. Awesome sale. Don't forget that for Give for Marion is September 20th to 21st. It's 33 hours of giving. You can give to one of our local organizations here. Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses is on this poster, and we love them. So make sure you do your donation. It's 33 hours of giving. Last mention I have is about HITS. Tom Struzzieri, who has been the CEO and has run HITS now for many, many years, is stepping down and will be in a consulting role only. So that's a little bit of news from the horse world for you. Got to wrap it up. I had a couple more to mention, but I'll mention them at the end because we ran out of time. We'll be right back with Dr. Lynch from Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital in Complete Care. Stay with us.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
Justine Dutton, Grand Prix show jumper and previously international event rider, coming to you from Notting Hill Stables in Ocala, Florida. Here at Notting Hill Stables, we use Equine Therapy International PAMF Activomed blankets on all of our show jumpers. These help to relax muscles and promote blood flow and circulation. We use the Activomed blanket on a daily basis as well as at competitions. It helps us a lot at competitions, especially before they start jumping. The tense horses really like it because it just helps to relax their muscles so they feel ready and confident to go in the ring. After the horses have jumped, We like to put it on and it really helps with recovery. I would highly recommend Equine Therapy International and all their products for all your therapeutic needs.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and Equus Television on all smart TV networks here at Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. I'm going to chat a little bit to Dr. Tim Lynch about sports medicine, and that is his expertise. Dr. Lynch, it's lovely to have you back with us.
Thank you for being.
Love the sweater.
Nice. Go Badgers.
We'll talk to Dr. Chaos about that next.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about sports medicine, kind of a general perspective of some of the cases that you see and some of the concerns and issues that horses have in that area.
Right. So most horses or most equine vets will do some sort of sports medicine, meaning it's usually lameness or trying to diagnose poor performance in the horse, depending on what they're doing as far as their athletic event, right? So again, sports medicine can involve everything from racing to show horses, and it's a matter of trying to figure out what's wrong with them, lameness-wise, or they may have some other issue that's causing them to not perform to their full potential. So there's certain people that specialize in certain breeds or events, like the eventing horse or the race horse, and they have pretty good ideas what happens to those horses during their events as far as injuries or poor performance and things like that. So sports medicine just recently got a fancy name about 10, 15 years ago, but equine vets have been doing it forever, right? So for example, like I see a lot of horses in the racing industry. A lot of those horses seem to have a lot of orthopedic problems, chips and such like that. And there's soft tissue injuries that go along with that, like bowed tendons and ligaments as far as suspensory injuries and such. The event horse is almost the same, right? They're a little bit different as far as occurrence and where it occurs. If you probably got a cutting horse, same thing would happen, right? Different types of injuries, but those people that are in those circles and those vets that do those horses, they kind of know the injuries that go along with the events that they do.
I'm sure you get very familiar with what they have a tendency to have a problem with, depending on what they do, whether it be barrels, cutting, jumping, just running fast. Obviously, you probably see commonalities in those horses in those sports.
Right. So there's certain things when you have a 1,200-pound animal running 30 miles an hour, right? And there's certainly injuries that are going to happen, especially if you're zigzagging around barrels or trying to chase a cow and things like that. So like all athletes, they can and do get hurt. And that's where it becomes this mission of the sports medicine people to try to figure out, or at least dominate their time and how to help. It's really helpful that the cut. No. So they can figure out what's wrong with the horse and help them along in their athletic career, so they can have long, prosperous careers, and try to prevent more further injury in the sports medicine type division of equine vets. That's basically what they do. I'm sure a lot of them look at all sorts of different horses and breeds and disciplines, and they kind of can figure out quickly what's the most common injuries in this sport or what happens to these horses. Like an endurance horse would be much different from an eventing horse per se. Endurance horses, they probably have a lot of tendon injuries. They go long distances, fatigue, muscle problems, tying up, versus an event horse, they go three different things, right? And it's all triathlon. Yeah. So some of it is at speed, and that's dangerous. They're jumping big jumps into the water and such like that. So trauma is always a problem, but injuries usually go along with the certain types of events that they do. For example, cutting horses have a lot of stifle problems. You got to get down low and turn quick for the cow, right? So it's sort of those things where you start to get equine vets who do lameness, but they kind of specialize, or they know the breed, or they know what event they're doing. Yeah, it was a good sign. So
your lameness exam, regardless of breed or discipline is going to be pretty much the same, but you're going to ask a new client, what do you do with this horse? Because obviously that's important.
Right. So it's tailored to every horse and what they do to what their event. They're essentially the same. I mean, you want to examine the horse and do a good physical and things and look at its legs for heat, pain, swelling, those types of things that are obvious right away. Shoeing and such always go along with the discipline, what they're doing. But then it's more, you want to see the horse in motion. So lots of horses, and it's usually the top performing horses, they have performance problems, but they don't really necessarily show lameness in hand, right? Jogging them up and down doesn't really show it. So sometimes you got to be willing to look at a horse being ridden, and that's maybe the only time the horse shows what his problem is. Dressage is notorious for that, right? So, because those horses don't do those moves by themselves out in the paddock, right? So they need to be ridden and see what the problem is, or see if you can't figure out to get to the bottom of how to help them figure out what their problem is, how to treat it, and then try to prevent the injury from later on, right? To help them through their careers.
Right. So after a lameness exam, at what point do you decide if there's further diagnosis needed, and what's the next step?
Well, I think it's dependent upon the severity of the lameness or the performance problem. There's a lot of lame horses that can perform quite well and they're quite successful. I mean, they're not lame, right? And there's a lot of sound horses that can't perform just, as well. So depending on the severity of the lameness, some horses, they need rest and things like that. And it would depend on where you can find the injury or where the soreness is coming from. So, and again, the severity of the injury would determine what they do to the horse, how much rest they would get. You can't beat rest for any injury. So it's kind of one of those things where it's tailored to each horse, what they do, what level they're competing at, right? So if you have a world champion in something, it's kind of different because that horse probably, hopefully doesn't have a bad injury. He just needs some help. Whereas some other horses, they may not manifest the same lameness, but they need more time off depending on the severity of the injury and things like that. So it's hard to give you a blanket statement and say, hey, this horse needs this and this. But again, if you can figure out where the lameness is originating from, which in some horses is difficult or sometimes impossible to find, they still have a performance issue, but technically it is a lameness. But again, they can probably go out and still win. It's just a matter of monitoring it, keeping track of it, seeing what you can kind of find the problem for the owner and the horse to hopefully lengthen their careers, make them pain-free, those types of, hopefully to try to prolong their careers, right? And be successful.
Right. Difference in breeds, obviously, affects gait. So you might be looking at a Pasofino, a Tennessee walking horse, or a quarter horse, and you might have a different spectrum of gaits that you're looking at. Is that difficult to kind of recognize when there might be a problem when you're looking at so many different movements in horses?
Right. So all the breeds they're essentially horses, right? So head, mane, tail, four legs, right? But the gait certainly can throw your eye a lot. And if you're not used to a gaited horse, the Paso is a prime example, that can really throw you off a standardbred when they're in gear and racing or, warming up. So that can be very troublesome as far as somebody who's not used to them or not used to examining them or seeing them in motion, right? So I don't think anything can beat good conformation to start with, because that's by far the one thing that'll help horses' long careers be successful. You can't really tell talent from conformation, but if they have straight legs to work with and good feet to start with, you got a good start, right? And you could probably eliminate half of all the horse problems. Oh, so is she giving us a signal? Sorry.
The finger.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
We'll have a couple little cutouts.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Dr. Lind, I want to thank you so much. A great overview of both lameness in horses and also sports medicine and the examination part of that process. Thank you so much. Louisa Barton here for Equus Television and the Horse Talk Show, and we're about to be rained on.
Yeah,
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and our broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Piranha, TT Distributors and Midnight Rose Equestrian.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
If you're tired of the rigours of keeping your horse's water troughs clean and free of algae, you need the Drinking Post Waterer, an automatic waterer for horses, livestock and cattle. Field tested for over 40 years. The Drinking Post Waterer is the gold standard of non-electric automatic waterers. Check them out on Facebook or find them on the web at dpwaterer.com.
Horses! Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio with my co-host Maria Lacasse from Midnight Rose Equestrian. That means that you can get your horse massaged and yourself, and the two of you can work together much better, and you'll be much more relaxed. And I am up for a massage this week. Don't know if I mentioned that.
Yes.
I also am delighted to welcome a very dear friend of mine. It's a real honor to have her in the studio. She is somebody I look up to incredibly, and that is Angie Crawford from Seminole Feed Stores. Angie, it's so lovely to have you with us.
Thank you. This is so great to be here.
You should be here more often.
I should. I think of all the fun you all have here.
I know,
so.
we do. We do. Let's start off by talking a little bit about your background. You've been around horses for a few years.
Just a few. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and we had horses in Davie, and we had two in particular, and I guess I was about 7 or 8 when we got that horse, Little Leopard Appaloosa. His name was Traveler. And so we would drive from Fort Lauderdale to Davie to visit every day. And then we moved to Ocala in 75. And unfortunately, he tested positive for EIA. And we had to test him again. And it turned out that he was a carrier, but he was not allowed to leave the county. And so they had a really terrific farm down there. I think it may still exist, where horses that were positive could go and not have to be put down.
Oh, that was good.
Which was great.
Yes.
And I knew my days with Traveler were over when we went out to visit, and it was muddy, and I called for him. Normally he would come right up to me, and he was running with the herd. And so, I was a 9-year-old at that time in full tears, and I knew that that would be the last time I'd see him. And so came up here. My very first job was working for a gentleman named Dick Coder. He was a horse trader by trade, and I had the guts to walk down to his barn one day and say, "Hey, I want to work with horses." And so after school, I would clean stalls. I think it was $35 a week. I'd clean stalls after school just so I could be around the horses. But I learned how to handle a horse, how to tie a horse, how to give a shot, how to break one. Got a lot of great information and skill that is still with me today. He got married. My friend Diane Devine, her dad was a horse trainer, and she said she knew that I wanted to go to vet school. And she said she called Dr. Peterson and asked if he had an opening. And he said, "No, but Smith does." And so that's okay. Well, there was 13 years of my life. So I started riding with Johnny Mack when I was 15 and worked with him for 13 years. And really, I think at that point in time, that was in the early 6 months after Peterson Smith opened is when I started working with him.
Wow.
And
gosh, that's some history here.
Yeah. So, some of the finest horse flesh to ever be in Marion County, we got to see. Tartan Farm,
yeah.
You're
giving me goosebumps.
Yeah,
it's wow.
Bonnie Heath, of course, was around then as well, but to see some of the finest horse flesh to ever have been in this county at that point in time, or even today, I think you could probably still say that. And so then it came time to go to college because, of course, I still wanted to be a vet, and I thought I liked University of Florida, and I was filling out my application. I brought it with me to work one day, and I was filling out my application, and Doc says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm filling out my application for Florida." He says, "You're not going to Florida, you're going to Auburn." And I said, "Yes, sir." And so I got my application for Auburn. I got in, and best time ever, best time of my life. I love being up there. I was an ag ambassador up there, and got real involved with a lot of things while I was up there, and graduated. I still in the summer times I'd come back and work for Doc. In the breeding season, I'd ride with him. Off season, I'd work for Dr. Sloan in surgery.
Oh my gosh!
And if you could pass Dr. Sloan's muster, you're all right.
Yes, you're good.
And so I worked with Sloan, and it got to be where I was training all the new technicians how to do it Dr. Sloan's way. And so that was again, it was just such a great learning experience because I was willing to work. I was reliable. I loved what I was doing. I had a goal in mind, and those were some of the best days of my life to set me up for what I'm doing right now. And so graduated college, moved to Michigan, worked for Sarah Lee for a little bit, moved back home, got married, and went to work for the Butler Company, which was a veterinary supply company. Yes, and I was their equine specialist. They could describe the pink stuff in the gallon jug, and I knew what that was. and a girl that I worked with left there to come to work for Seminole. And it wasn't very much later after that, she called me and says, "Angie, this guy is retiring. You need to come fill out an application." And so I went to Seminole with my resume. I got hired on the spot.
Sure.
I guess Greg Branch called Johnny Mack or John Peterson. He called either one of them and said, "Yeah, hire her." So that was November 23rd, 1999.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm in my 23rd year with Seminole, going into my 23rd year, and
I guess you know what you're doing.
yeah. And what the coolest part was, a lot of the farms that I went to with Jack Clark was retiring. He had been with Seminole for like 32, 33 years. That's whose spot I was taking. So it was an important spot. And you're the face of Seminole in this county. And a lot of the farms that he took me to, 99% of the farms he took me to were the same farms that I went to with Johnny Mack.
So you already had that relationship.
I already had the relationship.
Fantastic, isn't
yes,
it?
Yeah. And so I'm a people person.
Almost like it was orchestrated. That one.
Yes, I absolutely believe that. I do believe that, because I couldn't have written down, I wanted to be a vet so bad. And filling out my application for vet school, I just, I'm a girl that prays, and I just said, Lord, if this is not what you want me to do, you know how much I love horses, just lead me to a job that I'll love. And here, all I can say is, here I am.
You are.
23 years later, here I am.
How perfect is that? So when you're going out to farms to talk to either clients or prospective clients, what are some of the first things you look at when you're looking at a barn and a setup with some horses, and you go in there and you want to find out what they're doing with their nutrition program, and then you kind of want to find out what they should be doing? Are you looking at the weight of the horses? Are you asking questions about performance, or all of the above?
Kind of all the above. I've got a flow chart in my head of how you get from point A to point B, and or point Z, however that however many questions you need to ask. But when I go to a barn, I try to do homework before I get there. What do they do? What are their are they a performance barn? Is it pasture ornaments? Do they try to do a little bit of trail riding here and there? Then what is their hay program? More people are willing to switch feed than they are hay. And so we like to build feed programs around hay and the proper amounts of hay. And then you start asking questions. Then you start, let's take a look at the horses. What kind of body condition are they in? Is there hay? I'm looking to see if there's hay in the stall. They should, if they're going to be in stalls all day long, which some performance horses are, I want to make sure that there's something in front of them, because if there's a problem over here, 9 times out of 10, you can back it right up to there's not enough forage going in them.
Makes sense. Hold that thought for me for 1 second. That horsey sound you heard means we have to go to break. So we're going to come right back with Angie. We're going to finish that up. Then we're going to share a couple of other really important things with you that Angie has with us. And we're going to talk about their sale. So stay with us. We'll be right back on the Horse Talk Show.
Current equine microchips can migrate by up to 30%, causing difficulty when scanning. With over 70 years of collective horse industry experience, LipChip offers a new, more effective method of microchipping, partnering with veterinarians and technology experts to ensure humane and practical microchipping. LipChip was built by horsemen for horsemen. Nowadays, the performance horse industry is in need of both integrity and transparency. LipChip is the future of horse microchipping, with cutting-edge technology functional for every discipline. Find LipChip on social media, and for more information, lipchipllc.com. The future is here. The future is LipChip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now, or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook, and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations, with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab, you're switched on, you're a bit of all right, yes! Yeah, baby! Yeah.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio. I have my co-host Maria Lacasse from Midnight Rose Equestrian with me, and we've been chatting to Angie Crawford from Seminole Feed Stores. And Seminole Feed Stores has been in Ocala for 85 plus years.
Since April 24th, 1934.
Oh, wow.
So 87 years?
Yeah.
Is that 87, 88? It's a lot of years anyway. So it's almost 90 years. That's a really long time. She looks really good for her age. No, I'm just kidding. She hasn't been with them since the beginning, but she has been with them for many, many years. 23,
23.
Did you say?
Mm-hmm.
And that's been an absolutely wonderful relationship. And we're so glad to have a company like that with a mill right here, making the feed right here, just up the road. It's amazing. So you were sharing with us a little bit about going to the barn and kind of looking at what they're doing and making sure an animal that obviously is a grazing animal that has plenty of forage is very important, and quality of course, and then looking at probably asking some questions, like you said, homework before you get there.
Homework before you get there, just to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then I want to take a look at the horses, you know, check body condition score, and just kind of give an evaluation as good as I can. You don't want to, you know, I certainly don't want to go in there and offend, because sometimes people can get very offended.
Right.
Because they think they're doing the right thing, and so sometimes they are. You know, sometimes there's nothing that I need to change, except their feed program, you know, except their feed company. But, you know, just the opportunity to be able to go in there and build relationships. That's what we do. We build relationships. And, you know, I want them to get the best from their horse. And, you know, after taking a look at body condition, and we're going to have a conversation about hay. How much hay are they getting? How much feed are they getting? And, you know, we always recommend to feed by the pound and not by the scoop, because scoops, you know, are all different sizes and colors. And just try to get settled with them to make sure that they're feeding the proper amounts for what they're wanting to get out of their horses.
And then there's a very good possibility that your horse could look this good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Vivaldi.
Yes. A Breyer horse this year.
Listen, he's very special to us. He was Breyer, you know, Breyer horses. All little girls know what Breyers are. He was 2022's Breyer model, and the first Pasofino. And I went with them, he's from the Bezzy collection. Mr. Benjamin Leone has a farm up in Micanopy. I went with them up to Kentucky, and what an amazing event. There were over 30,000 people at this thing. And to see the reception that they received with Vivaldi. He is the 6th Breyer horse that Seminole has fed.
Wow.
Which is pretty amazing. You know, I started
amazing.
counting like, okay, I fed this one, we fed this. Well, not we. I mean,
yes.
I was a part of it.
Right, sure.
But we fed this one, we fed that one. You know, just to be able to start listing all these horses that we have fed. It's like, oh my word! And when
if you don't look good, if you don't look good, you're not going to be a Briar. Let's face it.
When I put the post out from Kentucky about Vivaldi being our number 5, there was a lady from Georgia that messaged us and said, "No, actually, number 6. I have a horse named Simba that you fed as well. He's a Jardin." And so I said, "Oh, please send us the information." So. How exciting. You know, that's
amazing.
just a little thing that's
Congratulations.
just...
That's huge. And he looks, I mean, his condition
He's an
is...
amazing horse. He is being inducted to the Pasofino Horse Association Hall of Fame next weekend.
Oh, wow.
Out at WEC.
Big
so
deal.
It's a pretty big deal.
That's a big deal right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So... to appreciate your customers, there are ways to appreciate your customers, and we're going to share with you some of the goodies that they have in the store on the nice full stocked shelves that are going to be on sale so you can feel appreciated.
Yes.
So these are great. This is a fully stocked store, very professional, beautiful setup with everything that you could need for pretty much your dog, your horse.
We have leather and tack repair.
That's right.
Dave Hott is there.
That's right. Dave's amazing.
Yes. And so... I mean, I've taken my saddle there. He did, short of getting a new saddle, he gave me a brand new saddle. And it was amazing what he did to it.
And lots of buckets and color choices there. Fall time orange.
Yes. Yeah.
You want your orange buckets? You want to look kind of like fall festival like that.
So September 24th and 25th is our, we do an annual customer appreciation days. And so this year it's September 24th and 25th, so that's next weekend. Our 40 stores open on Saturday from 8 to 4 and on Sunday from 10 to 4. And then we've got our Bellevue store is open as well. And that's from 8 to 3.
Yeah, just Saturday.
Just Saturday for them. Yeah.
Look at all those dog toys. My dogs would have an absolute blast there.
It's been really hard, with supply chain issues to keep so many things in stock because it's amazing what can be easily out of stock.
Yes, and you've done well.
We've done well.
Look amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
And look at that.
Yeah.
There's a slew of supplements and fly sprays and shampoos and dog toys and tack and they've even got, I saw in the downtown location, I saw you even had rocking chairs. Really nice rocking chairs.
Yes.
So will there be special prices, special sales?
Yeah, there's actually going to be $2 off Seminole Wellness, $2 off a bag, $1 off of all the Seminole feeds. And then we're going to have raffles and door prizes. And as you come through and purchase, you'll get a chance. They'll roll the little raffle tumbler and pull a card out, and it'll tell you that you'll get a discount the next time you're in, or free feed, or a hat or a shirt, something like that. So, so there'll be lots of prizes, lots of giveaways that day, and opportunities for you to, have discounts or such for the next time you come in as well.
That's phenomenal. And $2 off a bag. Let me tell you what, if you've got a big farm and you've got a few horses to buy for. $2 a bag is going to add up very, very quickly.
Pretty quickly, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
so
we'll have people there in each of the stores that'll be able to answer questions and things like that. And I'll be out at the 40 store, if anybody wants to stop by and say hello, I'll be there all day long. And then probably make my way over to WEC because I like to see Vivaldi.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
So it'll be on the
same day. It'll be a busy day. Yeah.
What a great way to celebrate.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Customer appreciation when you have a customer like this.
Exactly.
It's not a bad customer.
Not a bad customer. He's something else.
So yes.
So how do you set up feed consultations with you? Do you send an email or?
You can. A lot of people will call in to the office, and if they know me, they'll ask for me specifically. Or they'll say, I want to have somebody come out to the farm. You can go to the 40 store or downtown or Bellevue, and it'll be you can ask for me specifically if that's who you want. We've got 2 other reps in the county now, and so
There's just so many horses here.
Yeah, because there's so many horses here.
No way Angie can keep up with it all,
This
right?
is only one part of my job,
Right.
know.
That's right, because you
wear a
also
lot of-
manage. Yes, you
Yeah.
also manage your champion
I
riders.
manage our champion riders, and I also manage our university programs as well. So do a lot of nutrition talks at vet schools, and there's a lot of vet schools that we have relationships with, and so just be able to have the vet opportunity that I didn't have earlier. It's just
it's amazing.
It really is.
It all comes together.
It really is. It all comes together.
We have to take a break. I'm going to thank Angie very much from Seminole Feed Stores. You can go to their website, check them out, go to Facebook, social media, and follow them. Find out more. Don't forget the Customer Appreciation Show. We're going to have Angie back after the next segment for a few minutes because we actually have Lisa Helmer coming up, who just happens to be one of their top riders. So stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. We'll be right back.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Equine Therapy International, Nirvana Medical Spa, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, Summit Joint Performance, and Equigreen.
Mark your calendars, September 24th and 25th for the Seminole Stores Customer Appreciation Days. Come on down for great sales and giveaways. The 40 West store will celebrate Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Bellevue's location is Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. with free gifts, raffles, promotions, and discounts on feed and tack, store shelf items, farm, lawn, and garden supplies. Visit our Seminole Feed Facebook page for more details. See you there.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
For equine edutainment at its best, join the CEP and Friends at the Florida Horse Park, October 22nd, 10 to 4 p.m. for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games. Presented by Everglades Equipment Leesburg, your local John Deere dealer. Learn horse sports from the experts and compete from the safety of a stick horse. Enjoy a magnificent parade of horses, the vendor village, food trucks, and more. With free admission for all and for the best in horsing around, check out the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games on Facebook. Bring your stick horse or make one of your own while supplies last. See you at the park.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you.
Piranha, your trusted leader in insect control for 50 years. The official fly spray for World Equestrian Centre. From the strongest water-based equine spray in the blue bottle to the familiar and long-time favourite in the yellow bottle. Wipe and spray, we've got you covered. If you're looking for effective plant-based fly spray, then look for our Zero Bite in the green bottle. Check us out online at piranhainc.com. That's Pyranha, piranhainc.com to learn more about Piranha's entire family of products. Piranha, it works.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio with my co-host Maria Lacasse from Midnight Rose Equestrian. If you need people and equine massage, she is your girl. You can come to her or she'll come to you on your farm. Also, we have a very special guest brought to you by Seminole Feed Stores. We have Lisa Helmer with us here in the studio, head trainer at LCH Equestrian, para dressage development coach at United States Equestrian Federation. And very excited to have you with us, Lisa. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I know you have some great stories to tell, and we'd love to hear about it. Later on in the second segment with you, we're going to talk a little bit about how Seminole Feed plays into your program and how that works, and we'll bring Angie back in, and we'll kick Maria out here so she can warm her hands up, ready for my neck afterwards. Hint, hint. But let's start out talking a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your background, and were you in horses all your life, like most of us, or was it something later, or...
Definitely right from the beginning. So I was a horse girl right from the beginning. I started out, we didn't have horses when I was a kid, but we had goats. And so we did everything with our goats. And my background was through Pony Club. So I'm very, very fond of the organization still, big believer in the structure that it provides children. Some of my lifelong friends are still pony clubbers now, married with kids and everything.
Pony Club when I was
borrowed horses. A lot of my ratings I did on borrowed horses. I got my first pony for free doing that. And that was really my kind of formal education. I started out as an event rider because it was still the traditional route of Pony Club. Lots of eventing. And then when I went to college, I focused more on dressage. So I went to Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island, that had an equine business management major, also with a concentration in instruction. So I worked on teaching theory and then also had some business classes on the side. And then I rode for the dressage team there. Wow. So I kind of hung up my hat for eventing at that time. I sold my event horse to pay for school, and really got pulled into dressage and competing. It was interesting to also do it. Are you a IDA rider too? Or are you a dressage? Okay,
she does beautifully too.
Wonderful. Yes, it's my love of my life. And it was also really neat because with the intercollegiate dressage team, we rode on borrowed horses too. So you didn't have to have a horse throughout this whole process. And that, I would say, is something really cool about my background, is that I just rode whatever I could, and I encourage everybody else to do that still to this day. After university, I went to Germany and I worked for the Hanoverian Verband in Europe. Wow. I thought that I was going to be really interested in breeding, and I'm so thrilled that I did that because I learned that I did not want to do that, and that instead I loved training and starting young horses and developing them. That gave me insight on the process and the way that the Germans do it. It's very structured, it's very regimented, which is great for my type A personality. And just that exposure to how the young horse development works in that country was wonderful. So taking that, I came back to the US and started doing the working student thing. So I worked for several trainers. I went back and forth to Wellington, did that for a while, and then had to get a real job because I was out of money. So bummer that only lasted for a few years, and my parents kind of politely knocking on my door saying, "Hi, so that college education, like, you really can't just be riding all the time." And I was really dedicated and committed to this, but I took a big step back from horses full time, and I transitioned into that. I worked for Dover Saddlery for a while, so it wasn't like totally out. Mm-hmm. And then actually went a completely different direction and worked for an in-house sales position for a vacuum technology company. Totally different, nothing horse related, and I actually really enjoyed that job. It was a desk job. It was 40 hours a week. I had health insurance. I had dental insurance. I had all these weird
all
things.
the adulty things.
Yes, I boarded my horse at the time somewhere, which was also a really weird thing for me. I'd never experienced that. And the third year that I was there, I was making progress within the company. I'd gotten a promotion. My father worked at the company with me, who I was very close with, and he passed away unexpectedly.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
And that changed everything for me. So it was like this huge life shift. It was very sad, but it was also really eye-opening, and I realized I needed to step away from this position. It was too hard to be there at the company, and I went back to what I really love to do because of that moment when I lost him. And I'm looking back on it now. It's been 8 years since he passed. I'm actually really grateful that he helped me on this journey, and that journey has now led me to the business that I have in Ocala. And I accepted a job as the development coach for the U.S. Equestrian Para Dressage team, which is very cool and something I never thought that I would do, and I absolutely love the position. So all of these things, sort of the journey has been very non-linear, but the one thing that's been consistent has been the horses and the love for the horse. And I'm really excited to be here in Ocala as the industry is growing and changing, and to be one of the kind of younger up-and-coming generations that's influencing the direction that Ocala is going. So it's really neat, and it's a joy to be here and to be able to talk to you guys and talk about my little story.
You're inspiring.
I actually, I like you're almost making me tear up because I'm like loving your journey. I mean, the way that you're losing your father made you kind of pivot and go back to what you love, take you back to your passion. It's just it's amazing. It's an awesome thing.
I know he'd be really proud of what
absolutely.
I'm doing, and he was always a huge supporter of the horses, but in a very reasonable way, where he's like, okay, you need to make money doing this out.
Yeah.
And I've been able to. I was saying to Angie, we were speaking earlier, I feel really grateful that I'm so busy all the time. I came here from the farm.
You're the real deal.
Yeah, I pulled the horse off.
Horse. It's my favorite smell.
I pulled the horse off the trailer to get here, and
I love this.
Yes,
because
so
you do this cross training thing,
Yes.
which I am a big believer in. Because
Yes.
I grew up on ponies doing gymkhana and fun stuff in between being serious, in between eventing and show jumping and fox hunting. We were cavalettis and
yes, I do a lot of cross training with the dressage horses, and it's. I think a lot of it is from my eventing background, so I get bored just
Yes.
being in the arena. And my young horses do it, my Grand Prix horses do it, and I had made some of these videos. This is in the farm in Virginia where I would do group lessons like this. Now here in Ocala, I have my jump field in the front of my farm that's always set up with different patterns and things like that. It's really approachable. You don't have to be a dressage rider to do it and to have a lot of fun with it, but it works on gymnasticizing the horses, builds up confidence in the riders and the horses, and makes for a great YouTube video as well, where I kind of put together I did a couple of, it was called the Cavaletti CrossFit. I did a couple of magazine articles in EQAM, so I drew out little patterns and exercises for each month. So it was like a challenge every month to see if you could,
How fun.
If you could do it yourself. So
yeah, this is fantastic. I love it.
Keeping it fun, and this
It's-
is
you've got to.
fond memories from Virginia and all of our riders there.
So awesome. Well, the good news is, even though we're at the end of this segment, we got Lisa with us for the final segment of the show this week, and we're going to bring Angie back in so we can share with you a little bit about how Seminole Feed makes her program the best it could possibly be. So stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. We'll be back in just a minute.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Equine Therapy International, Nirvana Medical Spa, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, Summit Joint Performance, and Equigreen.
Hi, I'm Alan Davies with Equine Therapy International. Today we're at Engineered Equine Performance celebrating the new saltwater chilled treadmill. This particular chilled equine saltwater treadmill is a game changer. As you can see, the finest materials are used. The filtration system, coarse, fine filtration, no chemicals. We use UV, ozone, combination of filtration to keep the highest water chemistry standards. Being a saltwater unit, only the finest stainless steel and materials are used. That's important when it comes to longevity and cost of service over the life of the unit. This unit also has integrated massage jets with fine bubbles and coarse air bubbles for the therapy. The control system on this is Siemens industrial grade, top of the line technology, straight from Germany, but also serviceable here in the US.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Summit Joint Performance, promoting a healthy, thick synovial fluid, decreasing inflammation in the joints and improving the cushioning properties of the cartilage pads. All age horses can benefit from Summit Joint Performance.
Maria Lacasse of Midnight Rose Equestrian's background is in natural horsemanship and dressage principles, with a main focus on maintaining a balance of communication and correct biomechanics between horse and rider. Come to her farm, or she'll come to yours. Allow Maria to help you and your horse to unwind and balance to increase performance so that you can both be the best you can be together, to build a lifelong partnership of success. Maria Lacasse of Midnight Rose Equestrian is a graduate of the Equine Natural Movement School for Equine Structural Integration and a Florida School of Massage graduate. Find Midnight Rose Equestrian on social media and on the web at midnightroseequestrian.com and book your massage for your horse and you right away. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of this week of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio. Very good friend of mine, Angie Crawford from Seminole Feed Stores, has been here with us. And we also have a Seminole sponsored rider with us, Lisa Helmer, and one of the top equestrians. And it's been wonderful hearing about her program and all the neat little things that she does to make her dressage barn a happy place. And a wonderful group. We were just talking in the break about what a wonderful group she has there. We're going to get Maria out there to meet them all and massage some people and horses, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to do. But let's talk a little bit about first of all, how you first met Angie and how meeting her and letting her come and see you and your program, how that helped, and then we'll have Angie kind of give us some feedback there as well. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so as a newbie to Ocala, I needed a feed and I needed a good program. I went into a couple different feed stores, and I would say that probably my best, I'm looking for great customer service as well. I know there's a lot of good quality feeds out there. The market's very competitive. My best experience was stepping into Seminole. Like, I was immediately greeted I was taken seriously. And then Angie immediately took me back and showed me the feed. And she opened bags. She's like, you need to see the feed first.
You need to eat it.
Yeah.
Let's put some milk on it.
Well, I took
There's
it right
one, I think it's Meadow.
We just went.
I
Yeah,
want to
that's
just
our
pour
old
milk
Meadow
on
one,
it
yeah.
and eat it.
We just went straight to the warehouse. She opened bags. I could smell everything. I could touch it. That was the perfect introduction to the feed. And then she offered to come out to the farm, take a look at our horses. I would say our horses were in good condition, so we didn't really have to. There was nothing scary happening, but we needed to go through the gradual transition and really set up a program that was appropriate for our dressage horses.
Right.
I teach a lot of amateur riders, and I have my para horses that need to perform at a high level, but also can't be vibrating. So, it's different from a racehorse or an event horse or something like that. And I felt like the guidance was so clear, and it was very easy to transition the horses. I have gotten nothing but compliments on how fabulous the horses look, and the food is palatable. The horses eat it. I have picky thoroughbreds on it. I have my fat warm bloods on it. Just look at the food and get that. Everyone's dabbly and their manes look good. And this is the season in Florida that's really tough for everyone skin-wise. Even still, they look amazing. You walk through the barn, and I do travel quite a bit. I walk through a lot of barns, and it's a really wonderful feeling to walk through my own barn and go, wow, these horses look really good. And the customer service has been great. We get the feed delivered to our farm, which for me, doing pretty much everything by myself is a lifesaver. And anytime I've had something that I needed to figure out, Seminole, your customer service has been great. I can just ask a question. I can figure out a feed program for a horse. And I have everything. So I have young horses, I have yearlings, 2-year-olds,
I'm
all
going to
the way
interrupt you
up.
just for a second. We can actually pop those photos up from the earlier segment another time if Isaac doesn't mind. So you can actually see the horses.
Yes.
As we're talking about them, we'll pull a couple of those up for you. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
You can see they
but gosh,
look
yes,
beautiful.
I mean, wow.
And we have all age groups, which is great. I have a lot of different breeds. So, I mean, there's really like a nice eclectic group of horses, and Seminole has fit our needs for all of those.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You didn't have to go somewhere else for some because maybe they didn't have something.
Nope, they
appropriate.
They really do have everything that we need, which is great. And I don't have to feed a ton of different feeds. They're very complete feeds. We feed our equalizer to everybody. I love the Wellness Perform Safe, the low sugar, low starch. The Dynasport is for our show horses. That's absolutely
low sugar, low starch.
Yep, absolutely a fabulous feed. I do have my young horses on the Sport Horse that was recommended to me. They recently went to some breed shows. Both of them qualified for Devon in the in-hand, the 2-year-old classes, and looked amazing. They were shiny and beautiful, and no one even recognized them anymore from their gangly, weanling years. So they developed really nicely, and I know it was thanks to the feeding program.
It was great. There was that situation where, I happened to be at the store that day. I think I met you at the store that day, but they had said, hey, we've got somebody that's interested in have some questions about feed. And so we got in touch with each other, and why don't you meet me at the store? And we did. And it's like, there's no better way for me to try to explain feed than let's go out in the warehouse and just open some bags. I mean,
that was the best way to experience it, touch it, smell it, taste
you've got
it a
to
little
see
bit.
this. You've got to see that. This is what this is used for, because it's overwhelming. I mean, we make 28 different feeds, and it can be overwhelming. And there is some overlap on some of our formulations, which is going to be natural considering how many different feeds, but with what she wanted to do and what her requirements are. It's not, she didn't put me in a box, but she said, these are the needs that I have, and so what can you do to meet those needs? And instead of me carrying out a couple of different feeds to her farm, we had the whole warehouse to ourselves.
That's perfect.
Around the guys loading for other people. But, what better way to see... to have an opportunity to open whatever you wanted at that point in time.
And how wonderful for you to know it's safe.
Right.
Nothing else is made in the mill except that.
Yep.
You
We're
can see where it's
only.
made. Equine only. You don't have to worry about anything falling in your
Medication-free,
feed.
yeah.
Yep.
So
And
there's
the
that.
stamps on it on when it was milled. She's like,
Yes.
you might get something that was put in this bag yesterday. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't get
like less
any-
than 24 hours,
You know, it
yeah.
doesn't get any fresher than that. And
Yeah.
we've been thrilled with the quality of the feed.
Yeah.
And then Angie sent me home with a couple bags to try,
Mhm.
which was a no-brainer. We just transitioned over to the program.
And so with Lisa, when she has her events, when she has her schooling shows or clinics at her farm, you know, she communicates with me and lets me know that something is coming, and then we try to have goodie bags for her.
Yes,
with
which is really
horse
sweet.
treats and things like that for the people that are coming, and you know, it's you know, it gives us a little punch for, you know, for what she's doing out there, some support for her as well. So
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And
Amazing.
again, I'm so grateful. I'm so busy, which I'm very thankful for. But it's one less thing that I have to worry
Yeah.
about. I don't have to worry about it. If I have a question, I have somebody that I can call. I can just text. And
Yeah.
that's
Then you get your
fabulous.
answer.
Yes, exactly.
Instead of other companies that I have worked with in the past, and just getting anyone on the phone or asking a question if I had something tricky that I
Mhm,
needed to deal
mhm.
with, or if I just wanted reassurance that I was making
Right.
the right decision.
Right.
That is a huge selling point for
It
me.
certainly
I'm
is.
so grateful
And
for
Angie
that.
does such a brilliant job, and now we all know how much experience she has
Yeah.
that went into that.
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
was serious. I didn't even know that story. I've known Angie for quite a long time, so
Listen,
now you know what you're getting.
I don't know that I could ever retire. I love my job so much, because for me to see you do what you do, and other customers out there, our champion riders, for me, I'm getting that medal. I'm getting that trophy.
Mhm.
I'm getting that right alongside
You're
them.
getting to be a Briar horse.
Yeah, I'm getting to be the Briar horse. It's great to be behind the scenes and be a
Yes.
part of that. That's helping to, at least from a nutrition standpoint, to help make those things happen, and it brings great joy.
That's awesome. Seminole Feed Stores, Angie Crawford, thank you. Lisa Helmer, last mention for Customer Appreciation Day. Don't forget it. We'll keep posting it, sharing it, and airing it on the show until it happens. But don't miss it that weekend, 24th and 25th, Highway 40. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday. Bellevue's just Saturday.
Right.
So make sure you get down there and be appreciated. Thank you for joining us
Thank you.
this week.
Thank
Whether
you so
you're in
much.
Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, or not, happy horsing around. Till the same time next week.